Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Bolin. Thank you all for joining me. I have to do this video because this video supports what I believe is going to happen in November. And I made this call some time ago, and I believe this is going to happen. What I mean is there's going to be violence. It's going to be some violence initiated by radical Democrats come November against Republicans and conservatives. Now, why am I saying that again here? Because I'm about to read this article to you about a young man, an individual that was a volunteer for a particular Republican politician, and he was brutally beaten. There's a picture of the man in the Breitbart News article in bed, messed up, his jaw broken and everything. Let's get into this. Let's get into this article. And it says, a volunteer for Senator Marco Rubio was brutally attacked while canvassing for the campaign in Hialeah, Florida, leaving him with a broken jaw and internal bleeding. According to the senator, who is facing off against Democrat Representative Val Demings, in roughly 2 weeks, 4 individuals attacked the canvasser, allegedly telling him that Republicans were not allowed in their neighborhood. The man, who will also require facial reconstruction surgery, was wearing a shirt supporting Rubio and hat supporting Governor Ron DeSantis. That's a no-no for these radicals. Terrible, just terrible. Since last night, one of our canvassers wearing my T-shirt and a DeSantis hat, excuse me, was brutally attacked by 4 animals who told him Republicans weren't allowed in their neighborhood. He suffered internal bleeding, a broken jaw, and will need facial reconstruction surgery, Rubio said, providing pictures of the man who can be seen with a black eye and blood running down his face. And see, this is terrible because this is the history of the Democratic Party. But I'm going to get into that in detail. Let's go on. The attack comes several weeks after President Biden identified MAGA Republicans as a major, quote, threat to the country. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundation of our republic, Biden said, adding that there is, quote, no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans, and that is a threat to this country. This is what this man said out of his own mouth. Now, it's amazing to me how people try to defend, or the mainstream media tries to defend what he said. And what he said is believed by many to have affected the minds of a lot of unstable people. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to give you my solution on what I think should be the better alternative when it comes to November. But suffices to say, I personally believe that what the president has said has affected the minds of a lot of unstable people. Let's move on. Democrats, independents, mainstream Republicans, we must be stronger, more determined, and more committed to saving American democracy than MAGA Republicans are to destroying American democracy, he added. Notable Representative Charlie Crist, who is challenging DeSantis in this year's gubernatorial race, praised Biden, telling his supporters that he was, quote, so proud of Biden for demonizing millions of Americans. So apparently this is what he said here, right? You know, Charlie Cringe, this guy, Charlie Cringe or whatever, tweeted this. How many of you saw Biden's speech last night on national TV? God love him. He told it straight. The president laid it out. He didn't hold back, and I am so proud of him for it. And then it says other Democrats have embraced the hostile rhetoric as well, including Democrat Ohio Senate candidate Representative Tim Ryan for Ohio. Every time I see him, I just want to barf every time I see that man, because he's following the same violent rhetoric. He came under fire after encouraging Democrats to, quote, kill and confront the extremist MAGA movement. That's the end of that article there. But you see, I had to talk about that because you see what's mounting up here. You see what's mounting up. It's hard to deny these extremes. Who actually are the extremists? Here, once again, we have a physical attack of someone from the left to someone on the right, attacking them and physically hurting them. Now, this has been the tradition of Democrats for a long time. I believe like in the 18th century, the mid 18th century, maybe the 17th century, mid 18th century. I cannot remember the particular politician's name, but there was a confrontation between a Democrat and Republican, and the Democrat took his cane and brutally beat the Republican over the head, almost killed the man because he disagreed with a worldview that the Republican had. The Civil War. A lot of people don't pay attention to this, but the Civil War wasn't just about the South against the North and North against the South. The Civil War wasn't just merely about ending slavery. The Civil War was the Democrats against the Republicans. That was what it was about. The North, for the most part, represented the Republicans. And the South, for the most part, represented the Democrats. It was Democrats against Republicans. That's what it was always about. It's been that way since then. And usually it's always the Democrats who initiate violence against Republicans. If the Republicans perform any acts of violence, it's usually reactionary. It's in self-defense if they do it. But we see what's going on here. At least I see it. That there is some violence is going to be initiated come November. Me and a police officer was talking about a week ago, and we were outside. I was on my job, and we were outside talking, and he's very political, and we was talking and so forth. And he asked me, what do I believe might happen come November? And I said, I'm glad you asked that. I said, there's going to be violence. It's going to be bloodshed, in my opinion. There's going to be bloodshed. Republicans and conservatives, if they're going to go to the poll, they better watch their back. They better watch their back. My suggestion is you do about it another way. Maybe mail-in ballots. But even with the mail-in ballots, that can be messed up because, you never know how that's going to come out. A lot of people would rather just go up front, and do it in person because, hey, you can see whether or not somebody's trying to be tricky-dicky. You can see that. But if you're going to do that, go protected. You got to keep your eyes open to what's going on around you. Keep your eyes open around your surroundings because I believe there's going to be bloodshed. I pray and hope I'm wrong. But this article here and this incident here shows me once again that radical Democrats just don't have any sense of morality or any sense of right or wrong or any sense of integrity. So we see this now. This is not saying this. Listen, this is not in reference to all Democrats. Obviously, it's not in reference to all Democrats. OK, I'm talking about radical, unhinged Democrats, that this is what's going to end up happening. And I pray and hope that I'm wrong. But the solution to that is either doing mail-in ballots or some other form of voting so that you don't get personally injured. But this is a very tragic situation. My prayers go out to the individual that was injured for this. Let's pray and hope that this is not the case come November. Let's pray and hope that these people can play fair and stop being crazy. And let's pray and hope that President Biden doesn't keep opening his big mouth and saying crazy things like this and then trying to retract what he said. He knew exactly what he was saying when he said it. Now, that doesn't mean that what he said caused this, okay? But there is a correlation. Correlation is not causation now. Just because there's a correlation don't mean that what he said caused it. But then the same thing could be argued about January 6th. The Democrats farting and Putin about January 6th, about what President Trump said on January 6th, and he didn't say anything to like. I heard the man's speech. He didn't say anything at all that would incite those individuals to go up there and just commit acts of violence. He didn't say that. But they're all on this, jumping all on what Trump said January 6th, January 6th. That's why you got everybody running around, Democrats running around talking about January 6th. Putin is snotting about January 6th being the worst time in all of human history. Man, where do these people get this crazy stuff from? Oh, the mainstream media. That's where they get it from. But here you got Democrats, radical Democrats, unhinged Democrats attacking Republicans physically with their fists. But you don't hardly see this being covered on the mainstream news. Gee, I wonder why. But I'm going to cover it. This is what I see coming. I see bloodshed, and I see another war. May not be in December. May not be in November, but I see bloodshed. And if things don't get better, there will end up being another civil war, just like it was many, many years ago. Talking about civil war, the threat of a civil war. Yeah, I believe that. I hate to sound pessimistic and cynical, but where is there else to be? Well, unfortunately, sometimes it may come to that. It may come to a civil war. It did then. It might have to come to that again in order to save our republic. And it's not, by the way, let me close the video on this. This is not a democracy. All these presidents keep saying that, especially President Biden, democracy, save our democracy. This is not a democracy. It's a republic. When a politician says democracy, tell them to shut the heck up, because it's not a democracy. It's a republic, Dumbo. Lord have mercy. I know I'm kind of extreme on that, but it just kills me, man. These politicians get up here and just use words, and I know they know what they're saying. All this stuff is mapped out. They know what they're saying. It's not a flip of it. They didn't make a mistake, man. Come on, man. You really believe they're making a mistake in their speeches? Well, with Biden, I can understand why. Half of his brain is not even there, so of course he's going to make some mistakes. But anyway, that's what I think. Let's pray and hope things change. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. God bless you all, and see you again.